artificial intelligence makes the Internet of Things. Together, they create AIoT, a system where machines not only collect data but also think, respond, and learn. At the Dahua Nigeria 2025 seminar in Lagos, this concept took center stage from banking and oil to real estate and security. Alright, to set the scene, here's a report from the recent Dahua seminar where AI-powered technologies were showcased across key Nigerian sectors. Let's take a look.
As artificial intelligence continues to shape global industries, conversations around its local application are growing louder. In Lagos, Dahua Technology Nigeria gathered security professionals, real estate developers, and industry players, among others, to explore the future of AIoT, the convergence of AI and the Internet of Things.
Automations, that's one. Lots of gadgets, lots of security devices.
The company used the forum to present updates to its corporate strategy, highlighting a shift from basic automation to more connected and predictive systems.
For distributors, resellers, we have installers, system integrators. Every year we have a better sales performance, which means we are doing the efforts, which means the service devices are being used more and more in this country.
You know, this is the new technology again that is in town. Like, let people know what we have in our store. So I would say this seminar is a success to me. It's a success. And you can see the turnout, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see that Nigerians, we are also willing to learn more about CCTV, especially when it comes to insecurity.
In real estate, for example, Dahua introduced its smart residential solution designed to integrate surveillance, energy management, and automation tools into housing developments.
Now, the major thing is for business affluence. Basically, we are looking at something that can bring in more money. So, of course, if there's more value, it means that there's a high tendency to actually generate, revenue from it. So we're looking at it from the revenue aspect. So majorly, like if you look at the homes in Lekki County, VGC, of course, you discover that a lot of people run to those places because, one, it's a safe environment.
It's simply the internet of a thing, and as it is now, many of our systems now have been integrated due to the AI features. That is the artificial intelligence on the cameras. And also, we let people to understand that, no, this brand is a very good brand that, is cost effective and, pocket friendly.
Other use cases included customized solutions for the oil and gas sector and the financial institutions, where early threat detection and access control remain high priorities.
So for the smart banking, over the years, we have been able to discover as the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer, that the banking scenarios in Nigeria, the banking sector, have been faced with so many challenges. So in this regard, as solution providers, as top security company, we have been able to come up with so many solutions ranging from managing the equipment effectively, retention period, to be able to meet up with CBN's regulation.
While the conversation was industry-led, participants say broader adoption will depend on affordability, regulation, and local capacity. Issues still evolving within Nigeria's digital transformation journey.
In terms of the way we handle data here and how far we have really come in terms of data processing and data management, as it were.
Well, my understanding is, we have major stakeholders in the industry, and basically one of the major challenges we have is refusing to share, data. So you have some government ministries, you have the private. So basically, each of all the stakeholders need to actually agree to share data first. And I know that we've had in the previous instance, we've had several, like the NIM, the BVN, and all that. So it's just the government agreeing on one data system, and also we have a data bank where everybody's data is actually stored. So with the collaboration of all stakeholders, that is made possible.
Okay, let's talk about banking and finance. We'll also go to talk about oil and gas now. But in terms of what you have offered and then the AI of things, how is it really changing the banking and finance landscape?
So beautiful. So for the banking, basically, but before now, there's been lots of issues like, frauds and harassment in the banking premises. So with the kind of features we bring to the table, we can checkmate especially fraud at the ATM booth and also fraud within the banking environment. And also we can also be able to restrict certain persons from gaining access to unauthorized areas. That alone also is we also put into consideration off hours when the bank is not in operation. You can actually detect certain events.
Okay. One thing I actually got from the seminar, if I really took notes very well about the whole banking thing, I can remember the term you used. It's about how data can be stored. Break it down for me again.
So basically, the banking data in terms of video surveillance, because we call it video data and the audio data.
Yes.
So they don't have a way to actually store them in one central location. So basically, the central location could be an edge storage device, or it could be cloud-based or cloud-managed. Okay. But now we have a system where we can actually pull all those resources from each of those branches and store them centrally at the HQ, where we can actually manage this data, or we can upload directly to the cloud.
But so far now, so how have the banking sector, the players, have they really embraced this new technology, and what do we expect to see in months, maybe years?
So so far so good. We've had measurable success. Basically from the bank, especially with the CBN regulation now with 6-month storage.
True.
And I can tell you that every bank is actually pushing through to actually make this happen. So we've actually achieved several success cases, which with some of the banks, and I can tell you that there are more even coming for this particular thing.
All right, let's talk about the oil and gas sector. So I know it's a really very sensitive and very, very, very risky in terms of security and all of that. So what's new in the system, and how are you changing the narrative in that wise?
Yeah. So for the oil and gas sector, basically, like you mentioned, it's a very sensitive industry. And several things have actually been put in places, like having explosion-proof devices to be able to checkmate the issue of electrical discharges within the flow stations and maybe the facility. But most importantly, we also have a system where you can actually integrate our pure software with some other software like the SCADA application for monitoring. So with that, we can actually generate what we call intelligent inspection and predictive maintenance of equipment. So rather than often deploying personnel to go to the field, you can actually see real time when an equipment fails on site.
All right, it's still on Business Insight on Plus TV Africa. We're looking at the future of AI, OT, and the nations and future generally in terms of sectoral deployment and all of that. We still have Ben Fubara with us in the house. We'll be right back after this quick break to join us again. Welcome back. It's still Business Insight on Plus TV Africa. We're looking at the AI of things and in terms of surveillance and security, how far we've gone based from the Dahua seminar that held recently in Lagos. And I still have Ben Fubara with me here in the studios. Many thanks for staying with me, Ben. Okay, let's talk about this whole surveillance and data tracking. It raises a lot of concern in terms of privacy, cybersecurity, and responsible AI deployment. What are you doing differently, and what measures have you put in place to maybe to foster any issues that may just come along the way?
Okay, so basically we have what we call encryption protocols, basically to actually protect the data of the users of our devices. So basically what it means is the moment you start using our devices, you have that data encryption. So which means we do not have access to it back end or whatsoever. And basically for this, it also guarantees privacy, full privacy for the end user who is actually using the device.
Okay, so in terms of a partnership and maybe doing business together, what's the plan in terms of maybe what the private sector with schools, with other companies and the government to just really drive this particular narrative forward?
Okay, interestingly, we are like a man married to many wives.
Wow.
So what it means is we are open for collaboration with local partners, international partners, schools, and everyone out there. We're willing to collaborate at every point in time, because the key thing for us is to actually be able to grow competence at the same time.
Okay, now so let's really look at affordability in terms of maybe not really the big names now. For instance, for medium-based company and some company who would really want to get into the whole surveillance and security into their whole operations. How affordable are these systems, and is it something that you need to, break an arm and a leg to actually acquire?
So basically for us to become a partner, it's free of charge. You don't have to pay anything. And once you're a partner to Dahua, basically we start from the beginning, like trying to train you on how Dahua devices, how you can understand the devices. That's the first step. Then also we try to make you to be competent in the use of our devices. So basically for Dahua devices, they are categorized under low, medium, and high. So for the medium, which you spoke about, it's not something you can go. You need to go and break the bank for. No.
Okay. No, but so can businesses, retail outlets, deploy your sort of system? Because really, in terms of surveillance, one cannot be too careful. One just needs to be security conscious at all times. So what's the future like in terms of for the retail outlets and even for the SMEs?
So interestingly, we have a lot of devices with lots of features. Basically, those features are targeted to meeting the end user's requirements. So for retail, basically, we have devices that are best suited for retail, like the POS system. And we can actually infuse the CCTV with the retail system, link them together such that when maybe the customer is actually buying something, so back end you can see, the camera can actually pick the cost of what the person is buying. So that is specifically designed for the retail environment. And we do also have certain cameras that are suited to be able to count the number of people that actually enters the retail environment. And with that you can actually generate what we call a system like system intelligence or business intelligence, let me put it that way. So with that you can tell if the business is growing or it's not growing.
Okay, now looking at the whole future, because I'm really very interested in the whole security, because looking at the situation we have in the country in terms of the killings that we've had so far in Benue State and the national security issues now, so how can we leverage and zero down on all of these technologies to help in solving Nigeria's security issues nationally?
Okay, for this question, I think the first thing I think is we need to start small. We need to start from the small cities. From there we go into the smart city. Now, doing that means that everybody's data has to be stored somewhere. Now, with that we can actually be able to track people efficiently and effectively, especially when certain crimes are committed. So it makes it easy. Even when the person actually relocates to another city, the person can actually be tracked and easily arrested. So we also have a new feature which makes it easy to track people when crimes are committed. We call that feature the RTP features. So with that you can locate people within just or less than 1 minute.
But when you talk about smart city, what comes to my mind is the urban areas, the big cities, the Lagos, the Abuja, the Port Harcourt, Warri. Are we really looking at maybe over time having like this deployment to be across board nationally and not just the big names as it were?
Yes, so when you talk about smart city, we're also looking across board, not just the main cities. We're looking at the smaller municipal areas as well.
Okay. So I know you have a presence in Nigeria, you have a presence in West Africa and all of that, but what is the market really like in the West African sub-region, and appreciation of Africans in this region in terms of CCTV coverages and surveillance generally?
Interestingly, I can say that Africa, we're actually getting there. We're not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're getting there. So technology is one thing that is growing, and in Africa, I can tell you for real that the business is moving. We will get there soon.
Okay. Yeah. So in the next 5-10 years, where do you see Nigeria specifically? Do you see us as a hub for the CCTV systems and business in Africa, really?
Well, I'll speak truly as a Nigerian.
Okay.
Yeah, because Nigerians, we love technological gadgets a lot.
We do, yeah.
We do. So that tells you that with this love, I tell you, within the next 5-10 years, we would skyrocket to smart city level.
All right. Now, so your final word as we begin to wrap up the show right now. Let's talk about for people who feel that they really don't need security surveillances and all of that because they feel that it's not really necessary for their business. They don't need it to upscale. What would your advice for them be?
Well, I think the thing is this: not until something happens to you, then will you realize that you actually need something to fall back to as an evidence.
Okay.
So because what it does is it provides useful evidence for you. So you can actually tell, okay, this is the reason why this thing happened, or this is who this person is. So with that you can place an identification. So the key word there is we don't need to wait for something to happen to
before you take
these precautions.
Right, I must say a very big thank you to you, Ben Fubara,
so
for your time, and of course I'm sharing this wonderful, AI things so Nigerians can better appreciate them and be better security conscious as they move on in their businesses and of course in their private lives. Thank you so much. All right, I've been speaking with Ben Fubara. He's a Senior Solutions Manager at Dahua Nigeria. Now, smart technology isn't just about shiny devices. It is about solving real problems, predicting risks, and building systems that think ahead. But for Nigeria, the real breakthrough won't come from importing innovation. It will come from owning it, adapting it, and scaling it for our needs. Now, a big thank you to my guests once again for your time. And that's the size of the show for today. Until next time, remember, in business, insight aren't just what you know. It is what you do with it. That's the show for today. My name is Justin Akadoni. See you again next time. Bye for now.